ChatGPT said, at exactly 6:47 on a Monday morning, I learned two things. First, birds can scatter like they've seen a ghost if the noise is right. And second, even the quietest cul-de-sac can become a stage for the most ridiculous kind of power play you've ever seen. Because that was the moment a candy apple red Lamborghini Aventador exploded into my street, exhaust wailing loud enough to rattle the windows, and slammed to a stop right across my driveway gate. I just stood there at the bedroom window, toothbrush in my mouth, trying to process what I was seeing as the driver, platinum blonde, all designer workout gear and hot pink windbreaker, hopped out, flicked her sunglasses down, and rolled out a yoga mat squarely on my piece of sidewalk, as if my existence, my gait, my morning plans were nothing more than background noise for her latest social media episode. She didn't so much as glance at my house before hitting record, her voice cutting through the morning. Welcome back to Mindset with Karen. Today we're claiming space, not just emotionally but physically. And yes, that means parking wherever the hell we want. I choked on my toothpaste. My name's Darren. I'm the quiet guy, the ex-military engineer who just wants to be left alone out here on the edge of the neighborhood. Well, at least I used to be outside the HOA boundary, until Karen started extending her reign of terror with the subtlety of a medieval queen. But that morning, she leveled up. I had a job interview at Atlas Defense Systems in 90 minutes. 3 weeks of preparation, suit pressed, notes rehearsed, alarms set. Structure, punctuality, all the stuff people like me count on. And here I was, boxed in by a $300,000 ego trip on wheels that I pulled on jeans and a flannel, snatched my briefcase, and marched outside, trying to keep it together. Karen turned, that smile, if you could call it that, plastered across her face. Morning, Darren. Love the flannel, country chic. I told her, flat out, you're blocking my driveway. I have somewhere I need to be. She stretched, like she hadn't heard me. Then, all casual. HOA guidelines clearly state communal access lanes aren't private property during community hours. I actually blinked. Community hours? That's not real. She shrugged. It is now, past it last Thursday. You and who? Your cat. She gasped. That's rude. Mr. Whiskers is our treasurer. Right then, I felt my blood pressure climbing. I knew better than to escalate. Problem with Karen isn't that she doesn't get boundaries. It's that she draws new ones wherever she wants. Last week, she posted new signs. Karen's cul-de-sac. HOA president forever. Some people laughed, but I knew better that I gave her one last warning. Karen, move the car, or I'll find another way out. She sipped her green juice. Is that a threat? I grinned. Not yet. Back inside, I called the local non-emergency line. Dispatcher told me since the car wasn't abandoned and I lived on the edge of the HOA, it could be hours. Hours. And that was when that old military itch kicked in. When reason fails, you build a new solution. I looked across the yard, toward my barn. Not just any barn, but where I kept my collection, including a fully restored, street-legal M60 patent tank. Retired, sure, but still functional that I never got to drive it that day. By 9:15, the job interview had come and gone. My phone rang straight to voicemail. Karen and her crew finished yoga, laughed it up, filmed another video right in front of my house. Some people need to learn to share the view. That was it. I walked away before I did something stupid, hands shaking. Not from anger, but from that old, bitter taste of powerlessness I thought I'd left on the battlefield. Out there, you have command, clarity, action. Out here, you have bureaucracy, community hours, and someone in yoga pants with a personalized plate reading, Ken Karen. Later that day, a glittery pink envelope appeared on my fence, a laminated letter. Notice of code violations, unauthorized gate barriers, visual obstructions, all signed by Karen in purple gel pen, with a heart. Consider this a friendly warning before formal action. Formal action? I never even signed the HOA charter. I checked the bylaws. Sure enough, Karen had filed an amendment, submitted a new map to the county. Red line now looping around my property like someone spilled wine on the blueprint. Karen's kingdom had expanded by crayon and dared the world to stop her. Next morning, I went to the county building. Clerk at the desk, half asleep behind her keep calm and stamp forms mug, blinked at my story. She frowned. Map was submitted by Karen Blakely, attached to a temporary land annex request. Usually those take months. This one was fast-tracked with a handwritten note. But there's no attachment. That's odd. Odd didn't cover it. DIY legal lines, fraudulent filings, and now citations in glitter. Karen wasn't just a nuisance neighbor. She was building a dictatorship with no checks and balances. That night, I looked at the tank. Not just a relic, but a reminder that some battles aren't fought with paperwork. The next morning, Karen's Lambo was gone, replaced by a brand new sign staked into my yard. HOA expansion zone, future development site. Like Monopoly, but with real land. I yanked it up and tossed it, and not 10 seconds later, Karen materialized, clipboard guys in tow. That's destruction of HOA property. Darren, bold for someone with 2 pending citations. Her cronies started measuring my lawn. This isn't HOA property. My deed predates your little fiefdom, Karen. Until a court says otherwise, your sign's trash. Trenton, the community officer, coughed. We were told to verify easement boundaries. Nothing confrontational. Karen rolled her eyes. Oh, stop being so spineless, Trent. Desperate for backup, I remembered Mitch, 2 blocks over, cited for a garden gnome. He told me. She filled in the Jackson's koi pond, called it a hazard, then announced a new dog park. They moved out. No one fought back. Once, a guy named Phil threatened to sue. Next day, his fence was culturally offensive and his cat disappeared. Karen weaponized rules. I got home to a new letter. Emergency inspection, HOA community preservation team, fire safety, today at 4 o'clock. It was 3:52. I bolted to the barn, opened the doors, let the tank gleam. Karen arrived, reality show smile, evaluator in tow. We just need to make sure this lovely barn isn't a fire threat. The evaluator saw the tank, blinked. That's extremely cool. Karen jumped in, but it's not HOA approved, it's loud, obstructive. I handed over a folder, state documents, insurance, congressional letter, everything legal. Evaluator said, he's protected under county code. Karen's face fell. You mean he can just have a tank? It's not just a tank, Karen. It's a historical exhibit. But she didn't stop. She shifted tactics. That night, I found a camera on a tree outside my fence, wired back to her house, disguised as a birdwatching project. She was building a file, trying to paint me as unstable, as a menace. So, I flipped it, posted about the tank online, invited veterans, school kids, anyone interested in mechanics. The story was mine now, not hers. Next morning, she parked her Lambo just beside my gate, a passive-aggressive reminder. This isn't over, Darren. I smiled. I know, that's what makes it fun. Yeah, that happened. But soon after, a formal gold-sealed summons, neighborhood conflict resolution hearing, accused me of intimidating displays, endangering mental peace, and my favorite, excessive patriotic posturing. Signed by Karen and her attorney, her third cousin Brock, who'd taken a 6-week online legal course. I wasn't going to play. I went back to the county. This time, a supervisor named Harris frowned. They can't impose HOA on you. Your home's exempt. If they move forward, it'll backfire. But Karen wasn't stopping. Flyers for driveway yoga returns. Now with celebrity guests showed up. Main photo, her posing in front of the tank, inner peace amongst iron giants. She rented a stage, lighting, flamingos. It became a PR war, not just over property, but over the narrative. So I put up my own signs, Federal Registry, historic military equipment, no unauthorized filming, live monitoring active, passive sensors triggered spotlights. Karen's nephew tried to pose for TikTok. Karen herself paced outside, whispering into her phone. Why isn't he scared? He's supposed to be scared. The circus arrived. Cars, folding chairs, Karen in her finest pastels, influencers with drones. She took the mic. Let's release tension caused by unnecessary fear-mongering. I fired up the tank engine, roared so loud half the crowd jumped, drove it to the edge of my property and parked it, sentinel-like. The crowd flocked to me, to the tank, not Karen. Her event fizzled under its own absurdity. The backlash was just beginning. Next, a community disruption notification, fake subcommittee, accusations of urban psychological hazard, blurry night photos, anonymous complaints. County Safety Board officials showed up, saw the documentation, even took selfies with the tank. Karen, meanwhile, was out telling neighbors I was planning to use the tank at a meeting, holding a wine mixer about trauma. Someone filmed her wild claims, sent me the footage. I printed the transcript, paired it with my legal docs, sent it to the local paper. Headline: Suburban man targeted for owning restored military vehicle. The tide turned. Neighbors started stopping me on walks. One said, always wanted to sit in that thing. So, of course, Karen tried one last escalation, called a tow truck, yelling, "This is a code violation. I demand removal." The tow guy took one look, noped out. That night, camera footage caught Karen trying to sneak around my barn, looking for the ignition. I sent it to the sheriff. Tampering with military historical equipment is a CR.